Okay, I'll open then at this time the public hearing on the tax rate for 2013. And just I guess ask if you'd just raise your hand. I'll call you forward if you would like to come and speak.
My name is Carla Trussell, and I live 406 Tanglewood Trail, and I am speaking against the tax hike at a time when cities across the country find themselves in precarious situations. More than ever, we need to learn to live within our means. The amended budget does give our employees a small pay raise, and it's comparable to what other employees in the city are getting at this time. Nobody's getting much over 1%, and I believe the amended budget does give them a 1-point-something percent raise. Teachers in this city, nurses in this city, they don't make comparable salaries to those same positions in the Metroplex. And you shouldn't expect them to pay for a tax increase so that city employees can make comparable with what they make in the Metroplex. Because teachers and nurses certainly don't, and other positions don't either.
We've got a lot of our city's employees. I want to thank y'all for the good job you did. Last week, I think you were treated unfairly. Certainly, it's the desire of this end of the horseshoe to not do that. So we'll continue to work on your behalf to see that you're treated right. Especially, there's some of you out there that the jobs that you're working are grossly underpaid. We know that. It was the #1 priority of the council this year that we fixed that, and we've fallen short of that. Next week, I'm going to ask that we pass a tax rate at 49.5 cents. There's nothing we can do about this budget that was passed last week. There is something we can do about the tax rate. And if we can get the tax rate passed at 49.5 cents, then when we go to personnel committee, maybe we can get you your raise.
There's a lot of needs for this city, and I don't think we'll ever get there by raising the property tax rate. Yeah, could we raise it to where it is in Dublin, 1.138? Sure, and that would certainly help. But it's going to kill our economy here in Stephenville when it comes to economic development.
Okay, then I'm going to say something. And Mr. Evans, let me thank you for pausing this meeting to allow the discussion that has just occurred, because it is important to the city. I want to say 3 things. First of all, I want to I'm going to go ahead and use the word apologize to the city employees that are in the room tonight that I believe this council has an obligation to that it has not fulfilled. In 2009, this council passed a pay plan, a process with which to determine the rate you are paid and the rate pay increases are determined. To date, that plan has never been executed. So when Mr. Evans said that this was the council's #1 priority, he was spot on correct. It is this mayor's #1 priority. It is this council's top priority, and we aren't there yet. So in a way, we failed you. And I want to recommit tonight to you that we're going to fix that. And we've set a deadline of 1 November that unfortunately is past the date that this budget had to be done. And sometimes you have to make tough decisions to get the right thing done. And I think that's the path that we're on. There is no one sitting up here that isn't committed to making sure that everybody is paid adequately. And there is a distinct understanding in the discussions that you've heard from all of us about the difference between emergency personnel and a generalist that may be a labor worker that has been on the city staff for 6 months. Security of the city, safety of the security, and infrastructure are the 2 things that you heard Mr. Evans talk about are why we are here. We understand that. And I know to a person we are committed to that. So 1 November is going to come, and we're going to have some decisions and discussion to take place. And I'm encouraged that we are to that point at least, because to date we've never gotten that far. Okay, and we had a lot of debate about whether that information should be done internally with the city staff, or we should contract for it, and we decided, and Mr. Kaiser is on a path now with his staff to define what those pay rates are, what those pay scales are, so that we can make an informed decision about what the pay rates for city employees ought to be, okay? And that is what it is. But I do know that we as a council are committed to that. And it is critically important. Now the discussion about the sales tax and is 5.2 million a higher or low number, only time will tell, but I do know that there's flexibility within budgets to accommodate decisions that are needed when the time comes. Okay? So that's kind of a wishy-washy way of saying we will have to face the decision with the information in hand so that we do the right thing. And I'm encouraged that this council cares enough about making sure that there is adequate compensation for those career fields that are those areas that are critical to the city, that those decisions are made in that context. Okay. So it's unfortunate to have this situation that we're in, but it is what it is. And I think that we're going to work through this together, and we're going to be successful doing it. I'm encouraged that we are to a path of getting a pay plan completed. That's a huge step in the right direction. Again, that it has not been done before, and so we are headed on a good path. I really appreciate the council's discussion tonight. I appreciate I know we all appreciate you as citizens of the community coming out tonight, and we'll move on from here. And I know we as a community will be successful. We didn't get to be champions without doing these things together. Okay. All right. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Hogan, seconded by Mr. Pendleton. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. This meeting is adjourned at 6:21.
I do not have one. I'm sorry. That's cool.